No matter what business you're in, everyone's in the people business. Whether you're a consulting firm selling hourly work, for your people, or whether you're creating the best technology whiz bang gizmo, right? You're all in the people business. And so if you don't have talent, you're not going to be able to make it. I like to say that you really need capital and talent. If you've got enough money to give you a runway and you've got enough talented people, you can figure stuff out. You can overcome, Obamacare is what I used to say, but now you can overcome the COVID pandemic if you've got enough people that can help you shift your business model and turn the corner.
Coming to you from Denver, Colorado at the Brand Viva Studios. It's Adam Contos with Start With a Win. Sitting here with producer Mark.
Hey,
how you doing, buddy?
Good. I was dancing. My seat moved.
Whoa, yeah. One of those bouncy chairs going up and down.
Well, it's the lever. My foot hit the lever and I shrunk.
All right. Hey, everybody check that out on
yeah, if you're just listening, go to YouTube and watch it there.
There you go. So, hey, we you know how I really like to talk about high growth companies, personal success, kind of the no BS way of getting there.
Totally. I know that. And so we brought on Kurt Wilkin to the podcast. He is a trusted advisor for high growth middle market companies. With a passion for growth and a hard-earned, proven set of tools in his toolbox, Wilkin works with other entrepreneurs and CEOs to help them escape the startup mindset, which we always need, and achieve next level success. His debut book, we've been talking about mics a lot here.
Yeah.
Who's your Mike? Because there's so many good mics, right?
Yeah, be like Mike, Mike O'Hearn.
Mike O'Hearn. Who's Your Mike? A no bullshit guide to the people you'll meet on your entrepreneurial journey. Kurt reveals how entrepreneurs can transform their companies by minimizing hiring mistakes, which we all need, investing in high potentials, and making the difficult decisions to drop dead weight from their team. Woo!
Whoa, we're going to have some, as we talked about before, spicy conversations.
Kurt,
on
welcome
this
to Start With a Win.
Welcome.
Hey, thanks so much for having me, guys. I love what you guys are doing to inspire people and talk about leadership and entrepreneurship.
Awesome. Well, thank you. And I love this topic. You've done a great deal of research. You're an amazing executive coach, CEO coach, guide for business success here. Tell us a little bit about your professional journey, what you're up to now.
So my professional journey, I'm a CPA by trade, and I learned early on that I'm not a very good CPA when I was at Ernst & Young. And so I started realizing my entrepreneurial dreams that my father and brother instilled in me. And after about 5 or 6 years as a CPA, I launched my own firm out of necessity because of the dot-com crash. And weirdly enough, it was also a finance and accounting firm, which you say you're a bad CPA, but then you're going to tell me you launched a firm. But I had really good partners that were much smarter than me, and I was able to go sell business and talk to clients, and they were able to deliver stellar service. And that's really where I got my big break, was when I partnered with Brett Lawson and Kathy Schrock, who were very smart. And after we sold that, had a nice run, grew to about $20 million in revenue. And then I bought HireBetter about 6 years later because I felt like there was talent is the biggest thing you need to be as a growing company. And it's served by the, how should I say this, by the not very reputable recruiting industry. And so I bought HireBetter and I said, you know what? Everyone's going to buy from me because they trust me. We're going to cut and paste. And it's been a very humbling experience, Adam. I got to tell you that.
Awesome. You'd mentioned something that's really important to me, and I 100% agree with this statement. I want to unpack this briefly. You talked about talent. And when you look at, you got all these people that create these startup companies and they want like instant success or like, we're going to IPO in 2 years or some, crap like that. And we know it doesn't happen realistically. There may be a unicorn here or there where somebody hits the absolute, gold mine. But frankly, people don't buy your company. They buy the talent that drives the company and the future success that talent is not guaranteeing, but leading to for the investors. Tell me a little bit about how you CPA, you see the numbers, you understand numbers and growth trajectory, and are these people just living a dream right now and burning cash, or are they actually going to get someplace? And you turn that into actually this business projection mindset of calling BS on people for this. Tell me about that talent process and what we should think about from that perspective.
Well, I tell you, no matter what business you're in, everyone's in the people business. Whether you're a consulting firm selling hourly work, for your people, or whether you're creating the best technology whiz bang gizmo, right? You're all in the people business. And so if you don't have talent, you're not going to be able to make it. I like to say that you really need capital and talent. If you've got enough money to give you a runway and you've got enough talented people, you can figure stuff out. You can overcome, Obamacare is what I used to say, but now you can overcome the COVID pandemic if you've got enough people that can help you shift your business model and turn the corner.
Right on. And what's your perspective on this Great Resignation and everything that's happened during the pandemic? Because it scares the hell out of some. Others are like, opportunity. How should we look at what's going on out there, and how does a Great Resignation, as you call it, fit into this?
Yeah, I think the couple things you said there. First of all, I think there any kind of downturn, any kind of challenge, there's opportunity. So I'll just comment on that, and I know that's a big thing for your audience. The other thing is, I think most of the headlines that we see today are generated to draw clicks and to try to get viewers. And I honestly think the Great Resignation is no different. The numbers would tell you that the growth of the people that are actively looking for jobs is about the same trajectory as it was 3 or 4 years ago before the pandemic. The reason why there's such a big cliff in 2020 was because nobody moved in 2020, so there wasn't much of this migration. So then when 2021 came around, all of a sudden there was some pent-up demand like a hose, right? And so the numbers are really not that different. The reality is people for the last 5 or 10 years have been looking for something more impactful than just a job. And that's the big theme I want to leave your audience with is your talent is looking for purpose and meaning and mission. I loved your interview earlier with Kyle Lamb, serving a mission. Your audience is looking for that, and it's not always about a paycheck. It's more something more in their lives.
It's fascinating when you take a look at that intrinsic desire within people. And you're right, it's not necessarily a paycheck. I think Jim Collins has said that, paycheck is like number 5 or 7 of what people look for. But what are they looking for from your perspective, Kurt? And how can we fulfill that need to, help them generate that self-gratification or climb Maslow's hierarchy of needs to find a greater self where the paycheck isn't number 1? Because if they're in survival mode, the paycheck's number 1, right?
Yeah, and you're right. There's some people that are looking just for money. And, for those folks, that's their meaning. That's their purpose. And not that they're bad people, because there's a lot of folks that are just looking for money. But for most of the people I want to employ and most of the people I want to work with, I'm looking for folks who want to make an impact. And that might be saving the world or going to fight in Desert Storm like Kyle, or it might be just serving a quality product or quality food at a local restaurant because you're a servant mindset. It's things like mission. What does your company stand for? Where are you going? What is your vision? What are we trying to accomplish? And it's those things like core values that are. There used to be soft things that we would talk about, and most people would say, don't give me that soft bullshit. I want to, I'll just pay them more. And the reality is, for most of the workers you really want, they want more.
We all end up looking at a hire on paper. We're hiring people. Everybody's hiring people right now. It's hard to get somebody. And what should we be looking for in order to create a good fit instead of just grabbing the next person that comes by and applies for a job? Do you have any advice on how to hire properly?
I do. And there's a couple of these things in the book. The book is the Hoosier Mike book you talked about earlier is not just a hiring book. Trust me. There's a lot about firing and reallocating and all kinds of good stuff in there we can get into, I'm sure. But the resume is important. What they've done on paper is important. But I want to dig deeper. Tell me about these situations and experiences. Most of our clients are entrepreneurs who are scaling their company. So they get really enamored with the background of somebody from a big company, or maybe they have connections to the place I want to go. But I want to make sure that their work ethic is ready for a startup environment. They're ready for all hands on deck, roll up your sleeves. So those are things that don't really show up on a resume. There might show up through some questioning that you have, but what I found is most entrepreneurs are glasses half full guys and gals. And so for me, in any way, it's hard for me to hire because I'm going to fall for your bullshit when I ask you questions. So I have my team dig deeper, and my team really susses out whether they can really do the job and have some of those skill sets. Just take your time. If you've got 5 or 10 employees, you can't risk a really bad one, especially in a key role. So do a lot of backdoor references, talk to some of their former employers, former colleagues, and just don't fall for the silver bullet resume. And then the other thing is, as you're interviewing and really screening and vetting to make sure they can do the job, in today's environment especially, we also have to have our sales game on. Make sure that we are selling them something and giving them a good experience, because we might turn off the A players if we do what I'm about to describe. And that is, oh gosh, Kurt's coming in for an interview. Where's his resume? Let me pick it up off the printer. And then you go in asking the same bullshit questions that the 2 guys before you asked, the same candidate. That's a bad employee experience or candidate experience.
Great point. I can't tell you how many times I've seen that happen. So, hey, let's dig into your book here, Hoosier Mike, a no bullshit guide to the people you'll meet on your entrepreneurial journey. What's the book about? Give me a couple of the key points in it, and where can we find the book?
Yeah, the couple of key points is it's written in story form, other people's stories, and I want you as an entrepreneur to be able to learn from other people's mistakes and other people's successes. It's not, like my 10 tips to being, a billionaire and, living on a beach. It's what kind of things did people screw up and what do they do right, so you can see yourself. So each chapter is a different character. And I'll give you the really quick lowdown on Mike, the title character. Mike is your fraternity brother in college. You guys were best buds. And thick as thieves, you trusted him with your life. When you started your business in your garage, Mike was right there with you nights and weekends, doing all the back office administrative things that you don't like to do, and frankly, you kind of suck at. So you brought him in, and then when you became a real company, he quit his job, became your accountant. Again, doing all those same things, setting up your LLC, setting up your bank account, all that crap work, anything that wasn't biz dev or product related. You grow, you reward his 100-hour weeks with the controller title and the CFO title, and he's working his butt off. And then you look up and you're a $10 million company. Mike's trying to negotiate a big line of credit with your bank, maybe a merger agreement with your biggest competitor, and he's hadn't taken a vacation in 5 years. He doesn't have a team. He didn't know how to build one. He's just swirling. He didn't want to tell you because he's loyal to you. The question is, who's your Mike? Every entrepreneur either has had, will have, or has a Mike, whether it's finance and accounting, sales, marketing, operations, you pick it. So who's your Mike?
Awesome. Hey, where can we find your book? And any recommendations for, action steps with this book?
Yeah, so a couple things. Amazon, Barnes & Noble, anywhere online right now. We have a website, HoosierMike.com, which has links to everywhere. I did an audio version of myself, which is kind of if you can stand my voice for 5 hours, it's kind of a fun listen. We also have a fun quiz, HoosierMike.com/quiz. If you are concerned that you might have a mic, or there's not every chapter is about a legacy employee. Some are about the silver bullet you tried to hire that was a misfit. And there's also skip to the end. There's a keystone character at the end who actually brings it all together and helps you get to the next level. So it's not all bad, folks. That's for sure.
Awesome. Make sure you check out Kurt's book, Hoosier Mike, on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, wherever you get your books. So, Kurt, I have a question I ask every one of our amazing guests. You're an incredible entrepreneur. You've done so much to grow businesses. How do you grow yourself? So, Kurt, how do you start your day with a win?
Without fail, every day, 365 days a year, Adam, I swim 5 miles and bike 32 miles around my neighborhood. I'm just joking. I know you have overachievers on your show. No, I wish I did. Now, here's what I do try to do. I try to fill my bucket. So every day I want to do something that really fuels me. And the more I can do that and the less I do things that detract me, I'm going to be a better leader and a better human being to my kids and my wife, that's for sure.
Awesome. Kurt Wilkin, thank you so much for being on the show. Again, make sure you check out Kurt online and his book, Hoosier Mike. Kurt, thanks for starting your day with a win.
Adam, thanks so much for having me. And love what you guys are doing to inspire and encourage.
Awesome. Hey, and thank you so much for listening to Start With a Win. If you want more great content, if you want to get inspired, head over to adamcontos.com, and there you can get all sorts of access to stuff, as well as a downloadable downloadable PDF that will help you become a better leader so that you can grow your business. So remember, until next time, start with a win. All right. Here's the show after the show.
I love these conversations.
Good conversations.
Yeah, I mean, these are the things that, first of all, certain people that aren't performing are like, oh, is somebody having this conversation, about whoever's not performing? And the answer is yes, people, get it together because the conversation is happening. So let's be frank about it and just, have it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the biggest thing for me. I mean, I'm in a recruiting business, but very little of my time is done recruiting. More of it's about what does the team look like today? What are you trying to accomplish, and where are the gaps? Let's help you fill in the gaps.
Totally.
I had a question because you had said that you kind of stepped aside and you're a co-founder of the company. How has that been? Was that a really hard decision for you to make? And then two, how has that been? Is there been any feelings of like I would do it this way, or I mean, what does that look like for you in your situation?
Yeah, I think, and there's a few chapters on this topic at the end of the book, but the reality is it's hard.
Yeah,
and I made the decision because I brought in a president before, and everyone still kept coming to me as a CEO, and the banks would come to me, and every decision was mine. I'm like, that's not. I want the president to have this role, and so when Cisco joined me, I after 6 months I promoted him to CEO. Part of it was because laziness for me. I didn't want to have to be the decision point anymore, but I wanted to be in a role that fueled me, again, to use that word. But it's hard. And it's like a marriage. You got to take your time. You've got to date a little bit. You've got to work out you communicate. There's 3 words I use in the book a lot: trust, respect, and communication. If you've that those 3 things, you can accomplish a lot. But if those things fall down, it's going to be a long haul.
That's good. Yeah, I can definitely imagine that is something that a lot of people just need to look at, right? To say, hey, am I the best person for the job to take this thing to the next level? So, I love that. Well, hey, thanks so much for hanging out with us and staying around for the YouTube portion of the show. And we'll hopefully, talk to you next time you release your next book. Hopefully you're working on it.